Knock, knock. Who's there? Hashtag. Hashtag who? Hashtag no joke.
Eddie Nestor, no joke, and there's no jokes about it. No jokes about it, no jokes about it. Eddie Nestor, no joke, and there's no jokes about it. No jokes. Eddie Nestor, no joke, and there's no jokes about it. Best podcast on the air, and it's a shame to live without it.
Curtis Walker, funny guy, telling truths, never lie. With boss lady by their side, you know the limit is the sky. No disparity, just hilarity, with the clarity. Even giving back to charity, that's the ACLT. Helping people in need, with founders and trustees wanting you to succeed. African Caribbean Leukemia Trust. African Caribbean Leukemia Trust. African Caribbean Leukemia Trust. Donating organs and blood, fundraising and doing runs. They're doing so much good, so just sit back and have fun. Hashtag no jokes is really second to none.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Hashtag. Hashtag who? Hashtag no joke.
Eddie Nestor, no joke, and there's no jokes about it. No jokes about it, no jokes about it. Eddie Nestor, no joke, and there's no jokes about it. No jokes. Eddie Nestor, no joke, and there's no jokes about it. Best podcast on the air, and it's a shame
to him, right? At no time did I mention the colour white. I just told him that there are bad people, and there are people that are not going to like you because of the colour of your skin, because of your sexual orientation, because of your height, because of whatever. And not to say that that isn't true, but I don't want my children to walk around being a victim. I want him to believe that he can be the best that he can be, regardless of the colour of his skin. And when he walks into a room, I don't want him to think there are all these white people in there. They're hating on me. They might be hating on him, but I want him to have the confidence to brush that off and do what it is that he needs to do.
The pain can be different. It can feel like a stabbing pain sometimes, or like someone's pulling your limbs, or it's awful. But it really varies. But it's just a horrible pain. But it varies depending.
African Caribbean Leukemia Trust.
Yes, blood.
What's up, blood?
You good, blood?
I'm cool, blood.
You got blood?
What?
You got blood?
Enough blood.
You can spare blood?
Why blood?
The NHS blood.
Ah.
Yeah. Please give blood.
Eddie Nestor, no joke, and there's no jokes about it. Best podcast on the air, and it's a shame to live without it.
Curtis Walker, funny guy, telling truths, never lie. With boss lady by their side, you know the limit is the sky. No disparity, just hilarity, with the clarity. Even giving back to charity, that's the ACLT. Helping people in need, with founders and trustees wanting you to succeed. African Caribbean Leukemia Trust. African Caribbean Leukemia Trust. African Caribbean Leukemia Trust. Donating organs and blood, fundraising and doing runs. They're doing so much good, so just sit back and have fun. Hashtag no jokes is really second to none.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Hashtag. Hashtag who? Hashtag no joke.
Eddie Nestor, no joke, and there's no jokes about it. No jokes about it, no jokes about it. Eddie Nestor, no joke, and there's no jokes about it. No jokes. Eddie Nestor, no joke, and there's no jokes about it. Best podcast on the air, and it's a shame to live without it.
Curtis Walker, funny guy, telling truths, never lie. With boss lady by their side, you know the limit is the sky. No disparity, just hilarity, with the clarity. Even giving back to charity, that's the ACLT. Helping people in need, with founders and trustees wanting you to succeed. African Caribbean Leukemia Trust. African Caribbean Leukemia Trust. African Caribbean Leukemia Trust. Donating organs and blood, fundraising and doing runs. They're doing so much good, so just sit back and have fun. Hashtag no jokes is really second to none.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Hashtag. Hashtag who? Hashtag no joke.
Eddie Nestor, no joke, and there's no jokes about it. No jokes about it, no jokes about it. Eddie Nestor, no joke, and there's no jokes about it. No jokes. Eddie Nestor, no joke, and there's no jokes about it. Best podcast on the air, and it's a shame to live without it. Curtis never lie. With the limit is the sky.
Good afternoon to you. Welcome to hashtag No Joke. My name's Eddie. For the next 3 weeks, myself and the team take you through all that's happening from a slightly different perspective. Greetings to everybody watching on YouTube. Greetings to everybody watching also on Facebook. And the show, the entire series, all 6 of them, are sponsored by Oren and Beverly from the African Caribbean Leukemia Trust. Now, look, I'm not even going to be shy about this today. Fix up my place. Sorry. That's what happens when you've had a bit of a late night. Playing dominoes last night. I had to fix up a couple people to make them know who's the bad man in the place. Right? Anyway, but not even going to be subtle about it. The whole aim is to raise awareness. We've got big problems, right? And we need for you to go onto the ACLT website. It's going to be one of them shows, isn't it? On the 19th to 20th, they have drives across London, not just London. Go onto the website, please. They've sponsored us. They're a community organization, and we say we're trying to do things for the betterment, be the change you want to see and all of that. Please phone them up, find out, do you even know what blood type you are? And many people I've spoken to have never talked about it until they've needed it, or somebody in their family. So please, because unless they get people to sign up, then them sponsoring us has been a failure. So please, I'm asking you, yeah? Curtis Walker, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon and a happy birthday for last week.
Last night, you mean?
Happy birthday.
Yeah, it's weird being 30, you know. It's
hard, isn't it?
Yeah, I find, you know, I know you and Robbie are
when you're doing it for the 3rd time, it must be hard, Eddie. You know?
You need where's Donna? She working? You should have seen her. I think it was her birthday yesterday as well. Hello,
hey!
Donna. How are you?
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I don't know about Mr. Nestor, but I'm very well. Good to see you. You're looking wonderful this morning.
Thank you very much, my darling. Mr. Nestor is mashed up. He couldn't even get the AWL, the AVO, ACLT, bro.
What? What's it now?
No shouting.
Loving your backdrop.
Don, I don't know. Don,
I
just want to tell you, it's really important because last week you thought I was joking. I had to phone Steph. Steph, can you design a banner? Because Donna's going to do the whole of this series. And, you know, backdrops are important, as you can see. Backdrops are important, right? In fact, not just our backdrop, but boss lady. Boss lady. You see,
hello. Good afternoon.
Boss lady's backdrop. You see that? So that when we're trying to get people interested in sponsoring it and supporting it, you got a backdrop. What would you describe behind Donna as, Curtis?
I'm in jail, and thanks for visiting.
Yeah. Well, apparently she was in the back. In fact, hold on a minute. Boss lady, talking about being in jail, we got Donna in the back of a police car this week.
No way.
We have. Let's take a look. Let me find that video.
We're flying, literally. We're flying on the way to another incident. Where are we going to, Chris?
So at the moment we're going to an ANPR activation, so automatic number plate. The index of a car that was involved in an abduction earlier on, I think a knife point abduction earlier today, has pinged up further up the road. So we're going to try and catch up with it because there's every chance that it'll ping another camera, which kind of then gives us more indication as to where it is, and we'll hopefully closing on it and have a chat with the driver.
Okay. So this is what it takes, guys. Like, we don't. Well, I definitely. Today has been a real education as to what it takes on a very micro level, just in one shift, to keep us all safe. So Oh, it's been a lot. It really has been an insight. So yeah, this is what it takes. Rushing to get to save, you know, something that could have been something bad. And this is what police officers do.
Good, Donna.
Why are you applauding for someone for being in the back of a police car?
What did you say?
That's what my father told me to avoid all my life. How are you applauding Donna for Curtis for being in the back of a police car with a siren?
No, because I'm wondering if they did catch up to that person, does that person have to sit with Donna? And which one would be more upset?
And which one has to wear the handcuffs?
Because if you've done something and then Donna's waiting for you in the back of the car, you've got to repent all your sins. Right?
I'm sorry. It was me. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I did it.
Right, just to let you know. Right. Well, good morning, Donna. Boss lady, good morning to you.
Good morning. Just to interrupt there, Eddie, you've got a lot of birthday messages coming in for you. His birthday was yesterday, and he got a lot of loving yesterday. We were playing dominoes.
That's between your private life.
He got a lot of love. No.
I'm
talking about domino playing. So.
You're crazy. You're crazy.
Oh, I see.
Because I was a little afraid there.
Everybody knows.
Got a lot of loving. Yes,
everybody already knows anyway.
He got licks. He got bust up.
He got licks. Left, right, and centre.
But that's standard. I heard he could play dominoes. It's a joke business.
You're crazy. The only thing that licked me up was the brandy, because the chaser wasn't right. We had the wrong chaser.
The chaser was Prosecco.
Yes, Prosecco is. Oh yes, I drink that. I drink. Yes.
You drink everything.
The show's only an hour long though, so you can do your birthday celebrations on your private page.
Yes.
And just
I don't come here to do your birthday. This ain't why I'm here.
let's get the show going, Curtis. And just to reiterate what Eddie said, please support the ACLT. Please donate blood. I'm going to put the number up there in a minute. Phone the number, make an appointment to give blood. And here's just a short video to watch.
Heaven was such a joy to be with.
He never had to go in for sickle cell related anything.
They were having difficulty to find the exact blood type for him. It was blood transfusion that would have saved his life.
Blood donation is very important because some sickle cell patients thrive on that.
Please don't hesitate to give blood. You have the opportunity now to save a life. Blood saves lives for sickle cell patients, especially.
Save a life, give blood, please.
And if everybody just took down that number and made a phone call, made an inquiry and got involved, man, I'm tired, Eddie. It's time we start stepping up, man. Things like this should just be a standard procedure for us now. If after last week with Lisa and her lovely daughter didn't get you dialing or even just checking out the website, scary. Come on, people, we can do better. Let's do better. Come on.
I agree with you, Kurt, but in my life, the one thing I've learned is that, you have to persuade people, take away any fears they have, any anxieties they have. The guilt thing doesn't really work for people because they just lock down.
Yeah, but we're not trying to lay guilt. I'm not saying that. I'm saying make an inquiry, get involved, because everybody watching the show has a good heart and they want to do the right thing. So let's just do it today before the end of the day. Just make a schedule with yourself. Sometimes we kind of put it off, and we want to do it, but we don't get around to it. So by the end of the day, usually like that, it works for me. Give yourself a target. By the end of the day, I've done this.
I'm a list man now. I'm afraid that I have to put 5 things on a list, otherwise nothing gets done. God bless you, boss lady.
Thank you. Keep your comments coming in. Fun show today. Bye.
Did she say it's going to be a fun show today?
I thought it's a final show today.
Final? No, we got 2 more after this. Working towards the 21st. I've got to say, I don't know what you're hearing. I had a week off work, but the mood music isn't good for the 21st. The mood music suggests to me that there is a serious debate going on about whether or not these variants, Alpha, Delta, whatever, wherever they come from, may well mean a two-week delay. Now, nothing's confirmed yet, but the fact that they're considering it in a way that they are means that, you know, if you've organized an event before July, then you need to start just you know, considering contingencies, I would suggest. But here we are. I gotta say, I mean, today I'm up in my feelings, guys, if I'm honest with you, and it isn't just because of alcohol, but I'm like, what am I seeing? If I'm honest with you, I'm like, there are videos going around of children dying like it's nothing. I seen the video of the 14-year-old die. I seen him die. I seen it. And I'm like, I know how I'm affected. I'm supposed to be a big old hardback, whatever. And I think that conversation that you alluded to last week, we need to have it. Because we can sit here and say about giving blood. We can sit here, and of course, I can tell you about Tulsa, and I will do. 100 years, 300 people massacred by white people. We can do all of that, but we need to do a little bit of something else as well, I think, today. Well, let me show you a video that I'm in one of these Facebook groups, and it's brilliant because we talk about football and women.
You're not going to show another night.
I'm not.
Please.
I'm not. Come on, guys. No. But they are going around, and you have seen them. And I showed you the Selfridges one, both of you. Yeah. And then there's the Hyde Park one.
I was yesterday, sorry to cut you, Eddie, but yesterday live there was one in Selfridges, and I attended that with the police. There was a lot of things that we weren't able to tweet because people's brands were getting upset. But I went to, and on Tuesday I'm having that conversation. I went to most of the things I went to yesterday. It falls into our portfolio. And so I will be having the conversation on Tuesday. And I would invite you both as my brothers to join me in that conversation. Lee Jasper will be there, Dina Kai. We're going to have that conversation. Why?
Where are you going to have it?
Online.
Tell everybody the name of the show.
Please.
So my show is called Hardo Bread and Horlicks, but it's mostly commonly referred to as H&H. It's every Tuesday and every Thursday. And this week is especially for the Black community. On Tuesday, we are talking to Black leaders, Black influencers, and asking, where was the cry of shame? Where was our separation from what we saw? Why did we not call it out? Why is it that when something happens inside the community, we're very slow to act? But when something happens outside, we're very fast to act and film and say and denounce and all of these things. And then on Thursday, we're asking, why should Black people join the Metropolitan Police Force? So this week is going to be heavy hitting, but I would encourage everyone who can hear my voice today, make sure you're there on Tuesday, and you can add yourselves and the login details. I could even put them into the chat here on Facebook.
Yeah,
I'll do that now then. But we're going to have that conversation.
But concentrate on this while we're here, though, innit? Because you ain't got backdrop. You need to just kind of. My girl talking like she got a backdrop. What?
No, because no, I don't know. That's it.
Right,
you know what?
All right, let's move on. Hey, we don't want any of that. Okay? We don't want any of that. We all have to take our licks, Don.
You're right. You're right. You're right. Okay.
Jesus. You should have told me to send you some paint.
Innit?
You lot have got me joking, and it's a serious matter. Come on, stop. Listen, boss lady. There's a video. As I said, I'm in lots of groups, but people seem to join me into them. But this one group is one where I literally said, if anything comes out of here with me, and I have to kill you. I'm not that police officer, who's lost their pension, whose number I've got. We maybe should get her on here. Former superintendent, what was her name? Robin Williams. But here was a video. I'll put a bit of it in for you now, which got everyone talking. I'd love to hear people watching on YouTube and on Facebook what you think. Take a listen to this.
Black lives don't matter. They don't. In the past couple of days, I have watched 2 separate videos in the UK. One video shows about 9 black youth running down on another boy, stabbing him with knives as long as my forearm. Another video that I saw was in Greenwich of like 3 black guys wielding machetes in broad daylight, trying to kill one another. Black people, what are we doing? What are we doing, man? Like, seriously, like, I'm so pissed off watching this shit go down. I've got a 9-year-old son, yeah, who has to grow up in and around this shit.
Yeah, so he goes on for about 4 minutes, but I think we get it. Now, obviously, all these arguments are nuanced. And as I say, later on, we'll tell you about Tulsa. But Tulsa's not unusual in a community of thriving people. There was discord. They burnt the place down. They killed people. And then it was reported as though the reason they did it was because the black people were looting and rioting. And then it just got buried and wasn't talked about for 80 years. So if I'm honest with you, and I will be in this one, because this one has got me up in my feelings, because I've, as you know now, got a 12-year-old and a 7-year-old. And I went to the cinema with my boy and his friends, and it was like, I wish they could have gone on their own, but Daddy was sitting 3 seats away because I can't do it. I got a mate called Sam. She's a wrong, and it was her birthday this week. She put up that her son, this was before COVID, was going to a birthday party, and she was sitting outside. She was sitting outside a birthday party where he was, just in case. And it's got to those levels now, and it's scary. But I don't know, Donna, I overheard some Grand Theft Auto the other day, and I'm like, wow, is that what's going on? If you're sitting down there playing that all day, then you're desensitized to violence, aren't you?
But I don't just think it's, I agree with you, but I don't just think it's the games that desensitize. We don't, you know, us as adults, like, what do we show? What do we speak? What value do we speak into the lives of the young people under our care? To value something is learn. And Grand Theft Auto is going to help, it's probably going to impact that. But initially, who teaches you how to value things? What responsibility is? All of those things. So yes, the games play their part, but ultimately for me, this comes right back to the micro level. The homes, the parenting, and the environment. And there's no more running away from it. We've got to start owning our failures. We want white people to own their failures in terms of our historic relationship and other communities. Why won't we own our failures internally? Too much time running. It's time to own up, fess up, and work towards making a difference for ourselves. We cannot expect other people to respect us if we can't respect ourselves.
Right. And before I come to coaches, let me ask you, you've just been in the back of a police car with the sirens on, looking at crime, I imagine there for the police and for people monitoring stuff in one of your other capacities. What reaction did you get from other black people when they saw you with the police?
I was called a police lover, a coon. They asked if the chief superintendent that was with me was my baby father. I like white man. And that was from younger black people. Older black people, completely different. Older black people, like, good on you, well done. We need somebody on the inside. We need somebody to speak so that they know that we're not all like this. You know, what are you doing? Can I get your number? It was completely different interactions. And from the white people that were around, good on you. If anybody follows me on Twitter, a lot of the statements are, well, it's nice to see somebody black working with the police because the black community is anti-police. And I'm like, where do they get all of this from? They get it from our silence and the fact that we don't call out our own rubbish. So yeah, it was a lot of different reactions. But the one that I wouldn't say hurt the most, but the one that I was most shocked at was from young black men who called me a sellout, a coon, and can you imagine a chief superintendent as my baby father? But anyway, yeah, that's kind of like where it landed.
So, Curtis, it's difficult, isn't it? Because there is an element of, if you're black, you're not gonna, and you put your name down on the list, you're less likely to get the interview. If you turn up and you're black, you're less likely to get the job. Black women giving birth are more likely to die. You are more likely to be stopped and searched. You are less likely to earn the same kind of wages. Yeah, there are disparities in the justice system. All of those things do exist. So anybody listening, editing, replaying any of this, all of those things do exist, Curtis. But that's what I want to talk to you about. The but. What comes after the but?
The reality is, it's our young bloods. It's like we don't like each other. We don't love each other. And there's a hatred of self that's going on with our young children. It's like they loathe anything that looks like them, that sounds like them. And back to what Donna said about the micro, the little drops, the little dripping, like a tap faucet. Because you're saying you sat with your son. 25, 30 years ago, I followed my boys. 30 years ago, when they were going out, when they were going cinema, when they were going places, and I just did at a distance, but I'm mindful when they're going to school, you know that stage where they're going to school on their own, I would always walk or drive a little bit behind them just to make sure they got there. And because of the work I do, I was able to be at the school gate to watch them go home, as sad as that sounds. And that was 25 years ago. So I know you think it's changed now. It's that fear parents will always have. When I talk to young people, Eddie, it is so important. They don't like themselves. And I believe we stopped showing love. We stopped allowing them to be children. In certain households, they're told you're the man of the house now. When they're 11 and 12 and they take on that mantra. And to them, being a man is about being strong and defending and bringing in money. At 12 years old, this is what's going through. You're not the man. You're a child. Hopscotch, skipping, rounders, swings. All of those games we were fortunate enough to get involved in. They don't play those kind of games. And I know it's all outdoors and there's computers. Eddie, I talk till I sick. And you say the wrong thing to certain people. As parents, we have dropped the ball. As parents, a generation of us has to go missing. I've said it on stage, I've said it 1,000 times. A generation of us has to go missing for the next generation to stand any chance at all. 100%. I was in the barber shop once, this is before lockdown, hearing a father explaining why his daughter was getting beaten up by her then boyfriend, justifying it, saying sometimes she will talk back. And that's a father explaining why his daughter is being abused in a barbershop amongst grown-ass men. And when you jump on him, it's like, I mean, verbally, when you challenge him verbally, no, I didn't mean it like that. Well, you said it. Those words left your mouth. And you just wonder what conversations people are having with their children that would give them that feeling of being able to run through shops with a machete, with knives. You're leaving your house with that knife. Somebody in your family knows you carry that knife. And nobody has the love for you, the moral fiber, and the passion for you to take that off you, to sit you down and talk to you about trying to be in this world, this gangster lifestyle that we as a society have made sexy. We've made it, everybody likes a bad man. Everybody likes it. Stop it. Educate our children. Education should be our bling bling thing. That's the thing we should be celebrating.
Hello.
But no, we're celebrating. Look at his trainers. Look how much man he's stabbed. How much people he's rolling with. Look how he's got. Man's not hot. Take off your coat and pull up your trousers. It's 28 degrees out there. Why you got a hoodie on? It's 28 degrees. You're leaving your house in your hoodie. Why? It's hot out there. Lighten up your load, brother. Lighten up your load.
The thing is, Curtis, that our 12-year-old is now listening to music and wants to go out there with the puffer. R12, I could see. I'm speaking to him, and he's starting to sound like that thing that you were doing last week, that imitation of them. And I've explained to him that it can't happen, because I have to take, as a parent, we have to take responsibility. And all those speeches that you two made is like, you know, we could be at church, but I've got to say to you,
Eddie,
my children are.
Listen, I've told you about my relationship with my boys, right? It's not the best relationship, because I made it very clear from day one, I'm not your friend. I don't want to be your friend. Yeah? I've got friends I can fun and laugh and joke with. I'm going to be your parent. And whether you like it or not, those are the rules that are going to happen. You understand? This is what's going to happen. I don't want to be my children's friend. And we got parents that want to be their brethren, want to be their friend. You are a parent. Me and my father never had no real conversation till I was working and bringing money in. I know that's sad to some people, but I loved him dearly, but he never told me he loved me. He just expected of me to do certain things. I know that's old-fashioned, Eddie.
It is old-fashioned, and that's not
very
the way.
old-fashioned.
I tell my children I love them every single day.
Oh,
there is not a day. No. I'm just saying to you that no, I don't think we're disagreeing. It's just you do the best. I don't believe anybody goes out there, but I don't think that, you know, when we had our first son, all of a sudden, Mrs. Nestor became Earth Mother and knew everything about parenting. So there might be, and I don't deny, there may be some innate thing that develops through nature that allows a woman in particular to look after her child. But when that child gets to a different age, that child becomes subject to the influences of a peer group. Much more, I'm not fashionable. I'm not, but a kid who's 2 or 3 years older than him, that plays games, that's all able to stay up all night, that's able to listen to music, who's got the latest. I'm watching it with my own child. I can see how he's seduced by it.
But the distinction between the two, because every mother has to acknowledge, please accept, even now, 30, 40 years on, that your son, I'm going to say sons, boys, need a father figure. If not the father, a father figure in their lives, and somebody positive, not no negative big man that you all get turned on by, the one who's got 17 picnic all over the place and ain't got no real moral fiber. Not that guy. A real decent person in their lives, because women spent ages telling people how independent they were, how nothing a man can do for me, I can't do for myself. All the sisters who are independent, throw your hands up at me. And we had decades of that, right? And here we are today, watching videos of some unruly youths running around society, scaring people, killing themselves. Every time they look at the person they're about to fight, it's a mirror image of themselves. And there is no love there, no compassion. And it just, to me, Eddie, we've dropped the ball as a generation. We have to take responsibility. And it's scary and it's frightening, and we don't have all the answers, but I know it has to be entrenched in love, in showing love to these children, showing that you actually care about their future. So when you're talking to your son about his brethren being allowed to stay up till 2:15, being allowed to do whatever they basically want, you have to explain to him that you know yourself. Because I tell you, Eddie, when you ask them if they know themselves, and I know your children do, as much as you're scared, there's a point in all our lives where we had a choice to make. Yeah, we all have it in our lives where there's a road you could take or a road, you know, and you make a choice at that point. The trick is to catch them just as they're about to make that journey, man. And then you got to get firm, and you've got to be hard, and you've got to be firm. But they know themselves. If they've been brought up properly, they know. And I don't know what that means, brought up properly, but you know, there is no bad child. There is no bad child. There's bad society. There's bad circumstances. But every picnic has it in them. Every child has it in them.
Hold on, Curtis. If you grow up in a house where there isn't a functioning relationship, how do you then have a relationship? If you grow up in a home where everything that's admired is something that's from ill-gotten gains, how do you not? If you can come home from the pub or the back of a lorry with something that you got cheap, where's the? I don't think that you're right on this one. I mean, Donna, before we bring Miss Lady on, just talk to me about the outside influences perhaps on your children and how you struggle against them, and whether or not, if you don't mind me asking, the men or the man responsible for those children is helping you.
Okay, so I have 3 children, but I have 2 children's fathers. So my first son has his dad, and then my middle and last child have a different dad. I co-parent with both of them. You will be in this house sometimes, and all the fathers are in here with their children. One father will take, you wouldn't even know. If I don't tell you, you wouldn't know whose child is whose. That has taken sacrifice and work, but it works because what it does is it gives my children the stability that they will need to go out there and understand human relationships and the lessons they will learn from that. And that's what we've created as a family. So it does look a bit dysfunctional. People that are listening that know me can testify to the fact that sometimes I've got my 2 baby fathers and my partner in here, and people are like, has she really got a boyfriend, a husband, and a baby father? Yes. We're all in here, and it takes work. Now, in terms of outside influences, when you first asked me that question, Eddie, haughty Donna was like, my children don't have any outside influences, but of course my children are human like anybody else's children. I talk to my children. This is the difference. A lot of parents talk at their children because a lot of us were talked at. Is Mazzy man you want? Why you out there? We were talked at. Nobody spoke to us. That's the difference. I hear what Curtis is saying, and he's not wrong, but I think as generations move on, there has to be a balance. So yes, there has to be, I do provide boundaries, firm boundaries, but then I'm not in here threatening all kind of madness to kill them. When they break those boundaries, we have conversations. I think that's the difference. I think a lot of us, we don't know how to talk to our children. When in the work, in the community that I've done.
Yeah, how would you know? How would you?
Parents. You see, there's 2 things. So you can say, well, I wasn't taught to, so I don't know how to. But actually, if you want to bridge that gap and make a difference, so you know what it feels like. People, please, we know what it feels like to be the generations who were beaten with no explanation and had all of these expectations placed on us. If we want different for our children, then we have to look at ourselves. This is time to reflect as a community. What outcomes do we actually want? This
See, I wasn't going to move, Kurt. I was going to stay still. You see, and then we could have fooled everyone, and they wouldn't have known which one of us.
But I didn't know.
You're not ready. You got to stay still. If you stay still, they.
I think I've read it already. I had to move. I thought it was my Wi-Fi messed up. What's going on?
Boss lady, can you?
Great points, though. Donna was making great points.
Everybody, because I think we all feel this, don't we?
Oh, with a passion, you know that. We love our young people, but it's scaring me, man. I mean, it's too much, Eddie, too much. And it's becoming the norm. It's just a standard weekend.
Right. They have a special plan, the Met, for the 21st of June. That's how bad they think it's going to be. Yeah. It fell knife crime by 8%, but we were in a lockdown. So how is it only falling by 8%? Boss lady, I can only imagine after your enlightened moment last week. But if you could just read some of those messages first for me, please.
Yes, we got many messages. Sherry Johnson says, if we keep saying Black Lives Matter when our black children are out there killing each other, how can anyone outside the community take us seriously? Rice says, youths are fed on a diet of violence. You are what you consume, metaphorically. Gail says, video games, music, all these mediums contribute to the social inertia, but parents need to be more responsible for what is being fed into our children's hearts and minds. Sonzi says, the problem is so many people say your child should not fear you. They want to be friends with their children. Sorry, I'm your mother, not your friend. That's what you were saying, Curtis. Carol was saying boys need their fathers or a father figure in their life, full stop. And Sherry Johnson says, there has to be a balance when parenting kids now, because the old way is not necessarily the best way, because children need to be able to approach you when they are in trouble, but they definitely need boundaries. And that's one of the things that I think it's really important with our children, Eddie. One of the things I like to keep communication open. That's the most important thing. I want them to feel comfortable in coming to us. But just one point on what Curtis was saying, we talk about single mothers, absent fathers. You know, what I'm learning from people around me, even in functional units where you've got your mother, you've got your father, you think that everything's going around, parenting is good. you still have to keep an eye out on your children because they got the peer pressure outside. And don't ever get comfortable and think your child can't be one of those children out there. Any child can be in a scenario like that and go on the wrong path. That's why it's always always important to keep communication open, like what we try to do.
I do agree, but I just know something's got to change, and I know we've made mistakes, and I know our generation has totally messed up. And
I mean,
we were chasing other dreams. I mean, the workload has changed for a lot of parents as well. The whole time we spent as a family has changed. Some people ain't even seeing their children for more than 3 hours of the evening, you know? I don't know how you can parent like that. And I know society dictates how we live, but 100%, some parents are just really lazy and not bothering to raise their children. They're letting their children just grow. That's the difference.
Time is really, really important. Lucky me and Eddie have that, but there are a lot of situations where people don't. But if it's one thing that you can give your children, is time more than anything else.
Yeah,
communication and time, definitely.
I think that I in 2008, when lots and lots of kids were dying on the street from knife crime, I always remember this. A black guy phoned me up, and I was doing seminars, taking my show to different parts of the town. I remember a little kid, Billy Cox, got killed in Clapham, and I took my whole show. I did 3 hours from the back of a van because I wanted to be there. And I just remember this guy saying to me, what you're doing is really fantastic. I understand what you're doing. But by talking about it as much as you do and in the way that you do, what you're actually doing is scaring children. So what happens now is, as a result of all the videos we're watching, what will happen is that another child will believe that if they're going to the park tomorrow, in order to protect themselves, they're going to have to carry a knife. That's what happens. I know it's perverse, counterintuitive, but actually, we probably need, Curtis, to put together a show very quickly next week of brilliant young black people, doctors, lawyers, people who are doing fantastic things in community, because this show is making me feel a bit bad, and maybe because I'm vulnerable and tired, but this is just 40 minutes of it's real and it's what we want to do, but I find it depressing.
But you do it to yourself. We talk about knife crime. How are you gonna not? Because of the reality, we have to speak on these subjects. We said that last week. We can't be afraid to put a mirror up at our communities, black people, black families. We have to be willing to take some of that conversation and deal with. It's no more, oh, don't speak, put your laundry out in the public. We've got to talk on our things, else we'll never improve it.
Do you know how many black people are, if you want to do that, you know how many black people I believe are living in trauma? Do you know how many young black people I believe have mental health challenges, have a lack of confidence? The whole it's about confidence. Stand up straight, look, put your chest out, walk with confidence, walk into a room like you're supposed to be there. We've got a mental health challenge coming as a result of COVID, even without all of this thing, you know. And we can talk about the police as much as we want, not getting jobs, oppression or whatever, but I can tell you what, the greatest threat to my 12-year-old will probably be, when he's 17, will probably be another black kid, and that's the reality of it. But we can. Listen. We have to do more. We have to do better. All of us. This is part of it. Next week, I'm good. I don't know what else is on there. I will do my best to put positive things on there, places that people can go, things that we can do, whether it's a Saturday school, whether there's a museum, which is free, going to the park, picnics, working with people, mentorship schemes. I have to do it, Kurtz, because I can't, because the way we've done the show today, it's like they're all going to die.
Yeah, but Eddie,
no, that's what you're taking from it. That's not
well, maybe. That's fine.
Sorry,
that's fine.
lady.
No, I'm saying, isn't a part of learning also having conversations with the people on the street, with the youths on the street, finding out why, how, when, what? Because we're all talking about what we can do with our children, but if we don't know why they do these things and what makes them do that, that's part of the problem.
All right, you do it then. You give me a reason. Why would somebody leave their house to go on a picnic And that's a small one compared. They're lightsabers, they're swords, they're machetes. Tell me, make something up then. Somebody listening to this, make something up. I'm going to the picnic with my girlfriend, who knows I've got it, by the way, who sometimes hides it for me. I'm going to the picnic with that. You do it for me. Because there ain't no grapefruit or apple that need a knife like that to cut. So you do it for me then. Help me to understand why. You do it, boss lady.
Because they're scared. Boss lady, go for it.
No, I agree. They're definitely, it's because they're scared. They got into the gang, and as you said, they go into the park. They feel threatened, and once you got it on you, you're more likely to use it when you're confronted with a situation
or be hurt by it.
And the thing is not to carry it, but the problem is they believe not carrying it makes them vulnerable. Because how do they protect themselves? Why are they carrying it in the first place?
Because they're scared, they're terrified. They've been on social media. Somebody said something, somebody's done something, and they know there's a whole world out there that our generation just don't understand. And I'll put my hands up. I don't get it. I don't understand it.
Do these parents know that they're
terrified of it?
Do these parents know that their child's carrying a knife?
Some do, and I'm not going to sit here and say nobody does and they sneak it out. A lot of parents don't know, but some do.
And then what do you do? That's what I don't understand.
When their child is coming home with stuff they didn't leave the house with. Some parents are enjoying that. Yeah, the fact that your son has come home with a £1,000 trainers on, and you didn't give him £1,000, and you know you can't afford £1,000. Some parents are embracing those trainers and telling them, "Go and get me a pair if you can."
Yeah.
Can we stop now? Next week we'll talk about what we're going to do. We will offer some solutions, because otherwise we're just putting people in misery. There might be someone now listening to this whose son has been stabbed. There might be someone listening to this they know their child is in danger of being seduced by the street. Last week, Year 11s broke up from school, which effectively means that they have 3 months on the street, and they've been locked up, many of them. So we have to give solutions, ideas. So if you have solutions, ideas, you know what's happening, you know how to contact me, or contact Curtis or Donna or Boss Lady, and it will get to me, and we'll try and do something. Yeah, I do appreciate it's been really heavy. Honestly, I do. Boss Lady, give me something, man. Give me something. Shake. I need to shake this thing off now. Drink some water. Give me something, man. Give me something.
Well, I've got this fun question here. You want me to put that up? Just change it up a bit?
Give me something. Before we bring on our guests, we've got Donna waiting there, like falling asleep, shouting at us. I can see her doing all kind of busy, particularly shouting at Curtis. Really, not me. She's vexed with Curtis.
Okay. Take a look at this.
What you got? What you got? What can you say during sex, but also at a family dinner? Right, Donna, because you're doing part-time work at the minute. I don't know where you've been, but
my Wi-Fi.
Oh, right. Well, good. Right.
We'll bring some around next week.
Yeah. No, she won't. She won't use it. Go on then. Go on.
What's the thing that you can
say?
Come
on, man. Give me some. This is how we. All right. You want me to go
some more? Give me some more.
What did you say? Right. Is that you done?
Yeah.
What about? Can I have seconds, please?
No, we don't ask.
Don't talk with your mouth full.
Oh,
Eddie.
How do you get in this game? You're not supposed to be playing this thing. Guys, can you see what's going on?
Yeah, I can see it, brother.
Your mum does it better.
Oh.
No,
Is that
right, put the question up again.
I got one. I've got one to hit back. It's nice, but I prefer Curtis's.
No.
Oh, look at these ones. There's some coming in. I don't even know.
Put the question up again. Put the question up again, because you lot are getting me vexed now. Let me see. Let me clean my eyes. Let me see if I can. What can you say during sex, but also at a family dinner?
Oh,
I like my steak well done. No.
No.
Is that, what's the matter with you? Well, give me something then.
Do Andrew's one. Read Andrew's account.
Okay. You got a little something at the side of your mouth.
That tastes good. just lick it. Have you finished yet? I'm tired.
I'm tired.
That's a bit too much for
No,
me.
you don't say I'm tired at the dinner table.
I'm just going to wash up.
You say at the dinner table.
I'm just going to wash up.
No, I've got to stop now because I'm full.
Because you're full.
Oh, no.
Shut up.
Now because you're full. That's it.
Okay,
Stop that, babe. You're full.
Right, let's go.
I'm enjoying that. I like your stuffing.
Yeah, all right. Wow. That tastes nice.
Oh, that tastes nice.
Okay, right. Let's stop now.
I don't eat that. I don't eat that.
I'm afraid I don't eat pork.
Natalie says, just lick it.
But you don't say that at the dinner table. What? Give me a context.
You
All right,
do.
Give me something.
The ice cream is melting. Just lick it.
Just lick it.
Eddie, you've heard that many times. Don't feel like you don't hear that around the
Shut
dinner
up.
table.
Nobody's ever said
You hear that around the
just
dinner
lick it
table.
around the
That
dinner table.
smells cheesy. And I've got another one.
Let's go. All right, that's enough. You got to the line. You got to the line. Jeez, if there were any more, jeez, I told you this is not a children's show.
Well done, boss lady. That was a good one.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, break it
But
up.
you're mine, boss lady. I wonder sometimes.
Okay, right. So I'm going to read this. Got a guest on now. Her name is Carol Russell. She's written a book or co-authored a book, and it's really interesting because it's about what happens when you get older. And I remember at work a woman saying to me, she went to the bar, and all of a sudden, all the younger people around her were getting served, and she was getting ignored. And she said, "That's the moment that I felt like my youth and my beauty had disappeared." And I thought, is this a real thing? So let's bring Carol on. Carol, welcome to #NoJoke. Hello, Carol. Hello, how are you?
She's muted.
You're muted, Carol.
It's because she's been waiting so long.
Oh,
yes.
Right, there you go. I'll put it up there.
Yeah.
Invisible. Yes, that's the name of the book.
Invaluable. That's right.
Yes. So talk to me about this book and why you wrote it and the significance of age.
Well, the book was written as an extension of a conversation that I was having with a friend of mine, a white friend of mine, about the invisibility of women and how when you reach your late 40s and going into your 50s and 60s, you disappear from view for a lot of people. You're the little old lady in the corner. And so we've had so many conversations about it and how different it is for Black women and white women at this time in our lives that we decided that, we need to write this stuff down.
Right, hold on, Carol, because, we got two women on here who ignore the fact that they're well into their middle age, Donna and Boss Lady. So I'll be fascinated to hear an example of that, please.
What, of the invisibility?
Yeah, because I think there's some people. We're mostly watched by women in their later years. Sorry, fuller. No. Give me a word. Yeah, mature. Yes, midlife. Yes, thank you very much. Yes.
Okay.
Give me an example.
An example is actually in the workplace. Women, both Black and white and Asian, when we get to about 50 and people are thinking about making people redundant, we are the people who are made redundant.
Why? Help me to understand, because part of this, would you accept, right? Just to ask you the question, might part of this be menopause? Here, I don't feel what I used to feel, and that then gets manifested into situations. Did that come up at all, or is this a real thing?
It's a real thing. It's a real thing. Yes, menopause is, it's a part of life, and it's a part of life that women go through. But it's not the only thing about us. And so when we find ourselves, especially now where we're in the position where the age where you can retire is going up, it's 67 now, and we know the government is talking about taking it to 70. If we are 65 years old and we can't get a job, how are we going to manage? How are we going to live? Most women have a third of the pension pot of a man. So when she's going towards her retirement age, then she's looking at how am I going to live? And nobody notices that actually in women in their 50s and 60s are the highest rated, highest percentage of women who become homeless.
See, I didn't know that. I'm just fascinated by what the differences are. I spend my life on this show talking about differences, and my daytime show where I do a show for everybody about, you know, mortgages, children, some of the anxieties we will have. If you've co-authored it with a white woman and you're talking about experiences of being invisible or whatever, how did they differ?
Race is also a piece of it. A big piece of it. So as a Black woman working in the media, I'm a writer. I write screenplays. I write shows. I've written on children's shows. As you get older, they start moving you to one side and bringing on younger people. Now, I'm not saying younger people shouldn't get their chance. Of course, they should get their chance. But when you are a Black woman or a Black man, even, it has. What we've seen over the years is that we are not getting those jobs, that we are always the first out. I remember there was a time in the late 90s and early 2000s in my industry, the television industry, where there were loads of us doing work. We were producers, we were directors, we were writers, we were actors. And around about 2005, the economic climate changed and advertising revenue got pulled from television companies. And the first thing that happened was that we stopped getting jobs. Black people stopped getting jobs. So as a woman, I became invisible at that time. And I was in my 40s at that time. Mm. And so it's taken me a long time to kind of pull myself forward again and get myself back into a room to say, do not put this baby in the corner. You underestimate us and me at your peril.
Mm. Yeah, but you could say that with all sorts of groups, couldn't you? That, you know, we do things where they don't employ more of a particular type of person. So the workforce itself isn't diverse, therefore isn't as productive as it could be. And I suppose 15 BAFTA nominations for Small Axe proved that. Michaela Cole and what she's done proves that. Black Panther proves that. Girls Trip proves that. But I wonder if it makes any difference at all. In terms of television, I think you're probably right. For all women, you know, Maura Stewart could still read the news, but she's of an age and she's not going to do it. And when you look at the young women, like you could see older guys on there, but when you see the women on telly, quite often they're very, very young. So that is a thing which I can see, which is really, really obvious. Tell us about the book. How have you put it into a book? Is it about experiences? Tell us a little bit about the book.
It's about experience. It's about the experiences of Jane Evans and myself, but it's also about the experiences of women like Diane Abbott, women like Cindy Gallop, who was a creative director in the ad world, in the advertising world. It's what we're doing is we're telling the stories of women who, when we try and go back to find out more about women of my age, there is very little, because we're too old for the internet. We're too young to be old.
So are there solutions?
Even when I was looking for information about Diane Abbott, my God, let me tell you how hard I had to dig to find that information.
What do you want to know? First black female MP, former shadow, all sorts.
Yes.
She's been, got one son, made the headlines because she sent him to private school,
Yep.
is mad about education, has done amazing work in terms of educating particularly black boys. I know that. What is it that you think? I need for people watching this to go, I want to go out and buy that book. I need to know, so how will it help them? Or is it a story of journeys and they then find a way to give themselves value in a world that perhaps doesn't value them?
It is partly that. And what we're also saying is there are solutions. We can help younger women. When younger women are having their children, the sweet spot, apparently, the sweet spot for a person's career is 35. For a woman at that particular time, she's going, if I want to have children. If I haven't had children yet, I best be thinking about having my children now. Otherwise, I'm not going to have them. And one of the solutions that Jane and I have come up with, and the women we've talked to have been nodding their heads and kind of go, that would be great. We, as older women, suggest that we come back to work and we work that maternity cover.
Wow.
That
makes sense.
Wow.
That makes too much sense. That makes sense and it's obvious.
That's right. We ain't got little children anymore.
But Carol, how will you react when after maternity leave that young mum comes back?
Yes, man, it's fine. It's fine. Right. You come back, I'm moving on to the next one because there's another woman pregnant over there.
Of course. Yeah.
I think it's fabulous because I do generally think we have a problem with age. When my mum used to work in an old people's home, I used to go there, sit, tell stories, listen to stories or whatever. And I just don't understand why we aren't putting more older people with younger people, because obviously you have a lot of wisdom. And it's life experience. You see what I mean?
Yes. I mean,
I've got two sisters who are of a certain age. They're old. And in the workplace, one's a teacher, one's an accountant, but the teacher in her work environment has so much passion, so much knowledge, but the systems change.
Yes.
So it's not about that caring for a student and wanting that student. It is about hitting numbers. So the game changed.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? So she's of an age where it was about, I'm going to get these students to be the best they can be as people, as individuals, and intelligent and all that. And then it changed, and children were getting through the whole school system without being able to read, and nobody noticed. Yeah. That's how scary when the system changes. And all of these women who are extremely loving and caring and nurturing, as you're saying about the mothers, Eddie, there's that within certain work structures that isn't valued, isn't appreciated, because of the current systems and political games.
But Carol, couldn't you say that with nursing as well? I've got this thing about industries being feminized, because once you feminize it means you don't really have to pay them a lot of money and you can treat them differently. Nursing and teaching would be too, wouldn't they, of that type? Or is that nonsense?
No, I agree with you, because the biggest problem we have, I think, is that we have still not yet closed that gender pay gap. That gender pay gap is nowhere near closed. So women don't earn the same as a man doing the same job as her. So those are the kinds of things we cuss about in this book. And yeah, we do. We cuss about these kinds of things in the book, as well as, for me, it was really important to lift up the veil that has been placed over some of the people who came in the Windrush times and all of the good things that they've done that have disappeared from sight, that you can barely find on the internet. I mean, how many people know about Beryl Gilroy, the teacher, one of the first head teachers, black head teachers? Who knows about Una Marson? who's a playwright, who came over here, and she was the first black female television producer for the BBC. Nobody knows about that. I wrote about all of those things because for me, it's really important, especially for us as black women, to celebrate all of the things that we are able to do and that we do and have done and have achieved.
And are still doing.
And are still doing.
If only you women could learn to get along.
We do get along.
Don't.
Why are you even talking?
Why do you even bother
Are you
You-
a woman? What are you talking about? Continue talking, yeah, Carol.
Can I just bring in Boss Lady, because I'm pretty
Yes.
sure that I can see other women who feel the same way. Sometimes you feel something, you know. I used to go to I went to work one day and I said to them, I go on the tube and nobody sit next to me. I look on the tube and even though there's people standing up, there's always a seat next to me. And the white guy said to me, the idiot that was producing at the time, and then I put it on, and then loads of people come forward. So sometimes you feel something, and only when you put it out there, Carol, the people tell you.
Yes.
Right now, I'm glad nobody sits next to me on the tube, because I don't want nobody sitting right next door to me. What have you got there for us, Lise?
Okay, I got Patricia, who says it's sad that the strength and joy you feel being an older woman is not recognised or utilised. Such a waste. Joan says, I'm heading towards 60, still exercising. People think I look younger. I feel fit and younger. Exercise is the key. Dawn says she's experienced being black and older in the workplace and all of a sudden being undermined, questioned, micromanaged by younger management and slowly being stripped of her role and being sidelined. Rice says women
Lisa, 1 second. Just put Donna back up to me, please.
What's gonna do?
Hello?
You're having one of them weeks, aren't you? So just before we started, I heard a scream, "Come here and save me." When I went, look, that thing has come down on that piece of string. No, it's a spider and it's a web. Take it out. Well, it's not gonna, but it might crawl into my ears when I'm sleeping. And that's the drama that we had in our house. Now you're living out that drama upon the telly. What is the pull yourself together, woman? Sorry.
It was big. It was big. The bee had hips. That was a big bee.
Carol, just before Boss Lady carries on, this might be part of your problem, particularly black women. The fantastically well-educated, articulate, in touch, Mother Earth, see a spider and lose their mind. Tell me you're not like Boss Lady and DMT, Carol.
No, it's not the spiders that frighten me. It's the mouse rat them. Me don't love mouse rat. Some get close.
Well,
yes, good for you, Carol.
We did a whole episode on mice. Lisa wanted to ethically rid our house of mice, and the mice said, "We got an idiot here. Come and check out this house," and brought all his friends with us. Yeah, Sonic giving it cauliflower wings.
No, I did not. Stop.
Sorry.
Stop. I did not want to terminate them. I just wanted them to leave the house.
Yes.
That's it.
I terminated them, glue them, do whatever you need to do. Take the mouse out of my house. Right.
Anyway,
sorry.
Come on.
We've got a guest on, and you lot are embarrassing.
Right, I don't know where I was. Right, says women are judged.
Now, hold on a minute, but because when Curtis does bad things, he doesn't go out like this.
See?
But just because there was a big bee in here now, that's what I'm saying. No, man, I'm not having it. There's disparity in the treatment. When Curtis does something wrong, nobody says anything. Me and Lisa got a fair, and I got a big ass bee in here with me, and now I'm getting yell out like this. No, man,
it's not fair.
It's like a school, like children. Right. Have you finished? Now turn around and face that bare wall with your hands on your head. Sorry, Carol. This is not the way we normally
I
are.
love
Right,
it.
let me finish.
No, I love it.
Rice says women are judged on their sex appeal, so they lose work in the media industry based on that.
Yeah.
Michelle says living in this society, remember human beings are commodities. As we as women get older, we are valued less. Generally, men can go on until they drop dead.
Yes.
However, we've got conflicting. Stella says, still think it's got to do with mindset in some cases. My age right now doesn't define who I am. I'm going to be 51 and in my prime professionally. Hell, I moved and worked and live in Oman at the age of 48. And Maria says 63 doesn't feel invincible. However, Samantha says, I have felt this in the workplace. Thank you, Carol. It's a real thing. So there are lots of experience where people have experienced that in the workforce.
Okay.
Okay.
So Carol, where can we buy the book and who's it aimed at?
It's aimed at all women. It's aimed at women from the top of a council block to the top table in the boardroom. So that's who it's aimed at. And we want younger women to read it because we know that younger women are coming on the journey and they will soon reach where we are now. If we are to change the way things are, we have to work together, not just as older women and younger women, but also as women of color. We have to work together to change the way that we are seen and dealt with in this society.
It's a pleasure to have you. You're clearly silly enough to be in here because they wouldn't behave like that if they didn't trust you. So, so let's test you out now. Are you ready, Carol?
Yeah, go on then.
Right, boss lady, put that thing up, the thing at the dinner table and the sex thing again. Let me see what. Let me see. What you got for me? What you got for me, Carol? You got anything for me? You could give me something. Go with. You know, what can you say during sex, but also at the family dinner? You got something for me, Kat?
Yes, I think I may do. Put your motor on it now.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Bye-bye. I know how you chew the bone, right, Carol? Bye-bye. Thank you very much. Listen. I've got to make sure that everybody knows exactly what we're talking about here. It's really important. Lovely to have you on. Really appreciate you coming on. So look, that's Carol Russell there. Carol Russell has co-authored the book. Here's the book here, and it is about experiences. It's about people, and it sounds absolutely fabulous. Carol, thank you so much for coming on to #NoJoke.
Thank you, Carol.
So,
well done. Eddie, I
look
think we have to apologise for Donna's behaviour. I mean, wow. Big people on the show to talk about their books, and she's passing around in the backdrop.
Like, boss lady is ignoring her, but I'm like, I can't ignore her.
I thought it was just me. I thought it was just me seeing this.
Curtis,
all right, though.
What's this, Curtis?
Wow. What is it?
Yeah.
It's a vegetable, Eddie.
You took your time to respond.
Did you see? Are you fighting the glasses thing, Curtis?
Yeah.
Because every week you get closer.
Closer. It's a vegetable. Yeah. I don't know what the vegetable is. What is that? Parsnip.
Right. We are well over time, but this is the fast bit of the show. You ready? I don't know where Donna is, but we'll carry on. Right, here you go.
For your phone today, because you just do too much. Denise, I'm going to put my phone here.
Gosh.
Woo. Do the same. Jamal, do the same. Jamal, are you willing to put your phone there?
She can do that.
He's not. Wait. And that's why you haven't even reached for your phone in your pocket.
Why should I reach
Put your phone on the table. You're actually pissing me off now.
You're not going to emasculate me in front of the cameras. No way. Putting my phone on the table. I don't know what man is going to even do that. Like, you're just asking for too much. Like, trying to embarrass me in front of the cameras. What are you doing? What do you want? I'm going to be honest.
I need to see the last 3 text messages in your phone. And you can do the same to me. So you're not going to bring out your phone? So you're not going to bring out your phone? Okay, Denise, I'm so sorry, but I can't do this because it's getting too much now. It's getting too much now. Okay?
Is it me, Kurt? What do you reckon?
We're too old. That's pretty. Yeah. You got to put yourself back to when you was 25, 30 and put your phone down. Nowadays, you can lock every section of your phone, so you're cool. Put your phone down. You got a password for your messages, password for your WhatsApp. Put your phone down. Relax.
You're a funny guy, you know. You're a funny. Boss lady, we'll get those messages as they come in.
Oh, no.
Oh, Eddie.
I'm sorry.
Boss lady.
Sunshine says he was right. I for him business that.
Yeah. I don't know why you want to go in each other's phone. There's something wrong in a relationship.
Sorry, but if you do not trust the person you are with, what the hell are you going to coaching session for?
I don't know. That thing is a bit of fun, I think, if I'm honest with you.
Apparently,
they're all little setups.
Nonsense, disrespectful, not a relationship you need.
Yeah.
Talking about disrespectful.
Do you go through Eddie's phone, boss lady?
Absolutely not. I've never, ever gone through his phone.
Mr. Nestor, do you try and go through boss lady's phone?
No. I don't even look at it.
Since when have you stopped doing that?
If she said hold it, I don't even like holding it. We bought completely different cases to never mistake each other's phone.
Be prepared for what you might find.
Ooh.
No, I think just generally, if you search someone's phone and you find something, what happens? What are you going to do? You've frozen, Curtis. You've frozen.
Oh, I'm just staying out of it now because that's a good statement.
Oh, so George, yeah. See, if you ask.
Oh, for goodness sake!
You see, no. That's how he's typing it. You see what you see.
No, he's typing it like that for you because that's how you speak. That's how he's typing it.
Oh boy, yeah, you brush it. You want to get a little polish brush?
I've got a comb. I don't need that. I'm trying to get boss lady to cut.
It's Donna back. Hello, Donna. You're right. We were so worried about you.
Yeah, you never come and look for me though.
No.
I've been there before to drop off Banner. It didn't make no sense. I ain't coming again.
Right.
No.
Donna, this is yours. Donna, this is yours. Are you ready? Okay. This is a woman who actually, when we first started doing this show, I did want to contact her and ask her to come on. It's just that doing the show the way we were doing it before, it takes so much energy spending all my time ringing people who pretend they can't see my number. Talking about that, I messaged Judy Love this week and Benjamin Zephaniah. And Benjamin said he's busy, and Judy said she's busy.
What about Moira Stewart? I hear she likes the show.
Be lovely to have her on. I mean, funny enough, Moira Stewart is interesting for the video I'm going to play now. Okay. Because when we were younger, we used to watch Moira on telly. We used to really think, why is that woman orange? And it's interesting that as a child, we used to have to run up to the telly and address, not for Moira necessarily, any time there was a black person on, not even the brightness, the contrast. I don't know if you're like me. Do you remember that, Donna? You run up to the telly, a black person's on, and they never knew how to like them. This lady here, take a listen to Jamila talking to Mo, another guy who have asked to come on, and tell me what you think.
Basically, when I was on Strictly, every single day they would tell me that I couldn't wear my natural hair, and they wanted me to relax my hair. Every single day for 10 weeks, they're telling me that you have to relax your hair doesn't look elegant and blah blah blah. And I remember just like you don't even understand the levels of disrespect that what you're saying to me as a black woman, to not be able to wear my hair naturally because it doesn't appease you and your audience is highly offensive and highly disrespectful. And bear in mind, nobody at that time that I did it, nobody in the dressing room knew what to do with my hair or knew how to do my makeup. So I was doing my own hair and makeup for every show.
Yeah.
Luckily for me, I knew how to do my hair,
Yeah.
and I would do things like do my hair, and then they'd take a picture of me in the hair and makeup. And this was at the end of my time on Loose Women. So, and I'm having similar experiences. Anybody black was doing their own hair and makeup at that time. Every time I went on to Loose Women.
Wow.
Yeah. I like, you know, I know your audience is not my audience, but same thing with me and Ted. Same thing. It's the sacrifice. Like, if you want that thing, you know, you want that thing on your CV, you want that.
Speak in a way that we understand, Donna.
Sorry, I am saying I felt exactly the same way. I was told for my TED talk, I couldn't use the word sacrifice or reparation because they were directly linked to the experience of black people. And I needed to appreciate that I was kind of like in the bigger leagues now, and that my talk was part of a gold standard brand and couldn't really talk about reparation. It makes people feel uncomfortable. And I sat there and said, yeah, but I'm a direct descendant of slaves. So this is my story. This is my history. I want to talk about reparation, just to use the word. And I was told no. When I wanted to use the word sacrifice, they said, no. Because what will happen is the wider audience will think of blood. And I said, but we shed blood in order for you to have the societies that you have now, the economic, you know, the economics, all of this stuff. I said, but we shed blood. We, the Africans, we shed blood. Yeah, we hear that. But no, don't use the word sacrifice. So I know Jamila was talking about hair, but I'm here to tell, and this is why it's good to have these conversations, Eddie, Lisa, and Curtis, because you try a thing because you want it on your CV. I wanted to do a TED talk. I don't know many black people in my circle that have done one. Do you understand? I wanted to do it. Did it. And this is the wickedest thing. TEDx Ladbroke Grove is marketed as the more risque kind of speaking to the soul of things brand of TED. And yet even with that, not the coordinators, you know, but the script writer and the coaches, I wasn't able to use those two words that are so intrinsic to who I am and my experience of my people. We couldn't use it because to a wider audience, or it would give them the wrong flavor. And she's right. You feel I was tearful. That's why I said I wasn't going to do the talk. I was tearful. I felt disrespected. I felt that my ancestors were disrespected. And I thought this is another nail in the coffin of my people. And I think it's important for us to say it so that our sons, when they grow up and they want to do these things, we make it quite clear the sacrifice of self. So be prepared for that. If you haven't got resilience, this is not the life for you. If Jamila didn't have resilience, she couldn't have gone through all of that.
Well,
those are conversations. That's how we help our young people.
She's not doing Loose Women again. And with all due respect to the women on Loose Women, they have a particular type of hair. Well, I don't mean to take it away. I think, if I'm right, the newsreader. So there were 3 of them, weren't there? I think that's her natural hair now.
On Loose Women?
Yeah.
Charlene White is who you're referring.
I think it's Charlene's natural hair now. But
yeah,
it is a thing. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's so sad, isn't it?
That's why, you know, when you see people on TV or black people on TV, and sometimes you give them a hard time because they haven't said something, or they look a particular way, or they've got a particular hairstyle that doesn't appeal to you, and you don't realize from what Donna's saying that they have had instructions before in the way that they have to, in what they can and can't say, how they have to have their hair. Because you see a lot of black women on television and they have straight hair, and you do see that. And actually, for me, I do want to see more natural hairstyles. Mine, Donna's. The more you see it, the more it gets normalized.
What about Eddie's?
Well, we see a lot of Eddies. But I will say, if the structures that already exist won't let us on there, Lisa, because of that. So say me, I nearly didn't. Honestly, it came down to the bare bones. When I tell you on the Wednesday, I told everyone I'm not doing the TED Talk because that's how I felt. How do you share that so that you equip other women, other younger women, with this feeling of being empowered by those experiences? That's what I'm about.
And then you feel like you're compromising yourself if you do it. So
you just won't get the job. You just won't get the job.
Because you get that feeling that says you're looking at all. When that statement is made, you can't do that because of, and it's challenging something you believe in. digs deep into you, man, because all of your history, your culture, your mother, your father, your uncle, it's all coming there in that instance of you can't use that word. You can't use the word reparations. But I love that word. I want to talk about that word. You're not allowed to. And that hurts so deeply, boy.
Listen.
There is a retired army general who was giving a speech, and he submitted his speech, and they turned off his mic when he was talking about the. Did you see that? And if I'd known, I would have played it. And they literally, so he's speaking, and they literally turned off his mic when he was talking about black people and slaves and how
about the slaves, and they came and they just turned the mic down on him.
Yeah,
they didn't want to hear.
But if I'm honest with you, you have to be a particular type of person, and not everybody can be Muhammad Ali, Colin Kaepernick, Tommy Smith. Not everybody can be Rosa Parks. Not everybody can be those people. We had our bus boycott in Bristol in this country. Not everybody can be that person. And furthermore, and by the way, quick nod to Naomi, because we haven't done mental health at all on this show. I can't believe I've done all these weeks with you guys and we haven't properly done mental health. But if you look at it now, the Olympics is about to start in Japan. You got Tommy Smith. You got some of the greatest icons. Muhammad Ali throwing it into the river after he came back, and they wouldn't serve him at a restaurant. And they've told them in this time of Black Lives Matter, no political statements.
Yeah.
None. So it doesn't exist. So it is difficult. Yeah, quickly, because listen, it's an hour and a half. We've got to finish. For goodness sake. That's right. So hold on a minute. I wanna nod to Holby City very quickly. Is that you and the B again? What are you doing? I'm gonna phone you after this. We're gonna have a chat, babe. Because I'm trying to work with you, but you've turned into something else now. I turned the telly on last week, and Holby City was on. I haven't watched Holby City. I mean, I auditioned for it 8 times and I didn't get it, so I wasn't watching it. I'm like,
but I'm
Caesar? No, Cyril. That's in the other one. That's in Casualty.
Oh, sorry.
It's Hail Caesar. Yes.
Hail Caesar.
But I saw Joe, who was on this, doing some. Listen, let's tell you some masterful acting. She had the BRCA gene, which meant that she had to have her breast or ovaries removed. And the scene, her and I think his name's Colin, a black brother. And I was just like, oh my gosh! And then this week they say it's ending after 23 years. So Holby City will be finished, not because of the scene, but it's been a staple, isn't it? Yeah, we had Lisa's family around yesterday while we were playing dominoes, and they insisted the telly stay off, and they're watching someone with a horse head. Take it off. Take it. Have you not watched
the puppet show or something?
The horse head thing. Have you not watched that? What's it called? No. Who's the dance? Name the.
With Mo.
The one that does.
Mo, yes, that one. Yeah.
Ain't that the singing one?
No, they've done another thing now. The dancing one. Dancing.
And who was the horse? Oh, you didn't watch to see who the horse was?
No, one of them was Smith. Who's the gymnast? Got the bronze medal in the Olympics. Something Smith.
Where's
you don't know Jim? No? Boxing. Hey, the boxing's on tonight. Sorry.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's not do that.
Right. Boss lady, read 2 texts or whatever you got there, and then let's go. By the way, let me just say, sorry. You got loads of the text.
No. I've got a couple of more of those comments coming in. They like that one about what you can say at the dinner table.
Of course they did.
Can I have some more? You ready for pudding? Did you like the seafood platter?
Hold on a minute. Hold on. You're going. Oh. This is another one that could have been on there. You're going too fast.
Take your time.
Slow down, lady.
Do that
just take your time, right?
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Masticate.
What did you say?
Chew your food.
Lick the lips. Where's the juice?
Where's the juice?
Sorry, I don't eat meat.
I don't eat meat.
You need to come out of the table. That one, you need to come off this table. That applies to both of them. There's nothing for you.
Is that all you got?
What?
Donna.
That's finger licking good. Oh my God, this one's horrible. Is it too dry?
I left it in too long.
Have I left it in too long?
I almost swallowed that.
Oh yeah.
All right. All right. All right. You need the Heimlich maneuver.
Your viewers.
Oh, this one. That's a large portion.
Oh yes.
That's the winner.
Said when I'm at dinner.
Boss lady said that with feeling.
Listen, I'm glad that we could end the show laughing. It is a roller coaster of emotion. A different show. I don't know. It's either this week or next week is the 1 year episode, but I don't know. It doesn't matter, does it? We're here this week.
And we did mental health with David. Remember David Harewood was on?
Yes, you're right. You are
that was
absolutely. Please forgive me. Forgive me. You are right. Sorry.
I was thinking about you saying we've never done it. We've tackled mental health. Every time I speak to you, I feel like I'm dealing with mental health.
I was going to say every week. This is mental health.
Every week it's mental health.
This is my therapy. This is my therapy. I've got to be honest.
100%.
You lot take me on a piece of a journey. Bzz.
I'm going to bring you some insect repellent on the week, yeah?
And it bzz, incense. look,
and boss lady, can I have the clip of when Eddie was interviewing a very renowned author, Carol, and Donna was in the background swatting flat. Can I have that clip?
Yeah,
please?
Yeah. We're
Send
going to
to me immediately because I want to review it because I didn't know what I was watching. It was like a Benny Hill sketch going on in the background, and somebody's trying to talk seriously. Invisible, invaluable, and Donna is in the background. Whatever, like a child.
We didn't even get a chance to talk. We didn't get a chance to talk about this at all, did we? You know, that was a story, you know, and Biden went there. 100 years, 300 people dead. They found 5 more bodies. Anyway, look, I'm not bringing it back down.
Can we talk about it next week? Can we pretend we're going to talk about it next week? It's 100 years.
Hold on. One of the things that, because people are giving me a hard time, thank you for saying that, Curtis. I know it was in jest, but thank you. So we have 2 reporters now. I've asked 2 different reporters to look at the whole subject of missing children. The police say it isn't a thing, right? I need to find, if anybody knows any of the parents of those children, then please contact me. Because if you know a child has gone missing, then contact me. What I'm feeling at the moment from, and I don't have it all put together, Kurt or Donna, but what I'm getting is there may well be a conflation between what's happening with children going missing and what's happening outside PRUs. So a pupil referral unit, which is a fantastic recruiting ground for something called County Lines.
Yeah. Did you know that? Sorry.
Go on, Don. No, please.
No, did you know that there's a dare to challenge going on at the moment with young people on social media where you go missing for 2 days?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
What is that, like a game?
It's feeding into this going missing, and I'm going to say something else that people aren't going to like. You see with the speed that you make people like all of us, the community reacts. Oh my God, these children are going missing. Can we please have the same energy when you're picking them come back? Can you please find the same energy to tell us that they're safe? Because otherwise, what exists is this we're just hanging, and it's all of the emotion. So yeah, there is a challenge on social media with young people where you go missing for 2 days. It's part of one of these mad challenges. So I'm not saying it's not happening. No, but I am saying parents, grandparents, those of us, we also need to be aware and speak to our children. Do they know about this challenge? It's out there, but do they know about this challenge? They'll probably be frightened if you ask them and be like, "Rah, mum and dad know." I might not be doing it, but you know about it. These are the things that I'm interested in. So yes, and I didn't get this from the police. I got this from the heart of the community. So this is not intelligence led. People told me there is this challenge. Let's ask our young people about it. And why would they want to do it? Why would you want to go missing for 2 days?
Well, I think that the word energy there is something that is in the group that I told you about. Can we use the same energy when a black person kills a black person as we do when a white person kills a black person? They're just the same. And there are parents crying. In fact, that's the video I didn't put up. We had it, which is that young boy in Birmingham, D, who was killed. His mother crying, and it's not a great thing. It's not a great thing to see. It's not a great thing to hear, and not a great thing to be around. So maybe we need to do that. But as I say, next week, let's see if we can do a much more positive, what we can do type of how we can help type of show than we've done this week. Donna, God bless you, babe, and I hope you and
Take care.
You're
Love you
supposed
all.
to spray it, not hit it with the tin. Yeah, you can't hit the bee, throw the tin at the bee, or the.
I love
Or
you
if
all.
your
Bye-bye,
boss
Lisa.
lady, catch
Bye-bye,
it in your
Donna.
hands and release it. Yeah? Do not kill
I'm
it.
not like my
Everything has a
sister.
right to live.
No, I'm not like my sister. No,
Catch it in your
I'm
hands
not like
and
my
release
sister.
it
She might
outside.
want to keep them and then let them go. If I find them, I kill them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bye-bye, Donna.
Take it easy,
Bye-bye,
baby.
darlings.
Have a
Look
lovely
after you.
week.
Have a
See you
great day.
later.
Yeah? Have a great
Bye-bye.
day. Boss lady.
Mr. Nestor, did you have a good birthday?
Well, punching people up at Domino's was fantastic. It's old now. That's it. That's my highlight. You know, I haven't even been affected by the lockdown because I don't go anywhere or do anything. But yeah, I had a great one. Thank you so much. Sorry, I didn't say it right, did I? Thank you so much. It was amazing.
Okay, too much.
Too much? All right. Thanks very much. See you next week.
And you can
Just
say
to
the same
remind,
thing over the dinner table.
just to remind people, get a pen, take this number down, call it, make an appointment. Please, by next week, you should be able to say to us in the comments that you booked your appointment to donate blood and save a life.
Please.
And it's nothing different than going for the blood test that we all have to do at a certain age when you're going to get your blood test done for your medical condition. So it's nothing different than that. And you do that every 3 months, don't you?
So we got a Christmas, whatever happens, on the 18th of December, G-Store, Island Flavor, and Freeness have a Christmas do. So on the 18th, there's a place called the ILEC Center. And the first 10 people who can verify that they've made an appointment.
Verify, Eddie, verify.
Verify that they've made an appointment. Your BBC, how about that? We will give them tickets, a pair of tickets.
18th of which month, Eddie?
December.
Thank you.
Yeah. So honestly, the idea that these people would come and give us money that I know that they don't have in order for us to put this show on without them achieving their target is ridiculous. It'd just be a waste. It would just be like, you know, Ed, I like the show. Ed, I like it. Well, on Monday we're going to have a chat about whether or not we can keep it. So it finishes on the 20th, and then we need to have a chat because the lockdown is finished, and I'm not sure whether there's a need for it anymore personally, you know, and how we're going to do it, whether we can make it into a podcast, whether we do different things. Maybe we go for famous. I don't know whether we'll have that chat on Monday at 10:30. Boss lady, God bless you. Thank you so much. Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you, Curtis. Have a lovely week to all the listeners. See you
particularly
next week.
For lifting the mood there because it was dark and heavy. Thank you so much. Thank you.
My pleasure. Bye bye.
The reality is that it's been darker and it's been moodier. This wasn't that dark. It's where your head is at the minute. This was
you think so?
Yeah, when you watch it back, as we all do, you'll see it wasn't as dark as you've taken it. And the viewers have been on point. And I've been wrong all the time, which is good. That means everything is as it should be.
Listen, bruv, 10:30. Monday, I'll send it, and then we'll talk about what we can do. Yeah, thank you very much for today. Look after yourself and
happy birthday, mate.
Thank you. Water and tea. Look, that's it.
Yeah,
my head is hurting me. All right, then. Hopefully, I'm going back to bed now. God bless you, my brother. Look after yourself. Yeah, thank you so much. So it's really important to say thank you, right? So this week let's say it's next week because you know, a year. Next week also is around about the 14th, isn't it? 14th of June is a really big date. I remember going to receive my MBE with my family on the 14th, and then going to cover the story of Grenfell Tower, where 72 people lost their lives. And it's a story of injustice, a story of pain. I've been following the inquest, and you won't believe some of the stories coming out of there. So somehow, some way next week, we'll try and lift it. If you know somebody who's doing stuff, I know I got Proud and funny enough, I just picked it up. This guy, Proud and Gifted, doing brilliant things. You know what I mean? We'll see if we can get hold of him. But anybody doing anything, we'll try and, you know, get some positivity on it, give some ideas. If there are things that you think we should be doing in the last couple of weeks, then please let us know. Mastermind is on from 5 through till 7 o'clock on the legendarymastermind.com. Lethan and his community activism is going. I'm supposed to be down there for his birthday on the 15th of August. Really looking forward to help part hosting that. Talking about events, 27th of June. Oh, that's sold out, so there's no point in talking about that. And we are still hoping to be going to Fuerteventura for fitness and fun on the 2nd of September. Maybe we'll play that video for you in a little while. Whatever happens, right? I know these are tough times because I feel it myself. Look after yourself. If there's things that you think we could do, ideas of raising money, buying T-shirts, whatever it might be. As I said, we're going to have the meeting on Monday, and then we'll have an idea of what we do if we go once a month, whether we do something different. As I say, if you've got any ideas, then we welcome it. Look after yourself. Thanks to the whole team for all the work that you've done in there, setting it all up. I am 30 now, and I feel a little bit vulnerable, and I am going to my bed. Greetings, welcome, bye-bye, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Bar Mitzvah, and all of that. Hashtag no joke.
Hear me out. All right then. This is the way.